All right, greetings. Thanks for joining us at tonight's broadcast. So today is going to be, well, back into the Zetas for a little bit. We'll see what, I'm not sure where that's going to go. Going to the Martians and Joe Biden and human trafficking. I'm not sure how deep I'm going to go into human trafficking. Florida is one of the Miami, is it Miami? Orlando, and where I live is one of the major areas for human trafficking in Florida. Florida is one of the bigger states for human trafficking, yeah, because of the Caribbean. And that's what's reported, at least. Of course, you're not going to hear about much of that. It's all black, it's all blacked out by the media, which is unfortunate. But so I'm not sure how far I'm going to go into that. But I wanted to bring that up. It's like, I'm kind of stuck here and can't get out of here, and just like, why that human trafficking came up, because I was watching the debate with Biden. It's like Biden and his Ukrainian hookers that he's connected to, from what I can feel. So again, I did kind of like a slight reading on Biden. Yeah, he's definitely a deep state man, obviously. But last time I don't like connecting to him, but he's just good at covering things up. So he's been doing such a good job at it. Of course, he's going to be running for president. Win is another story, but yeah, he's just good at it. Just he whitewashes stuff. That's why it blew past everybody, obviously. But yeah, he's just good at. I felt, yeah, he does have a lot of connections to Ukraine. Obviously, he's not going to go public with that. And he has made money from them and other places, definitely Ukraine. I'm not sure about the human trafficking in him. Possibly it's blocked. It's a possibility. I wouldn't doubt it. I definitely felt hookers around him, though. Prostitutes all around him. And not just because he's just in Ukraine and just happened to be there. I mean, like, he had relationships with them. I mean, I guess when you're in that position, well, who wouldn't? So I don't think you're going to have Borat. I don't think Borat's going to make that movie. I doubt it. Yeah, I felt like prostitutes all around him, and not in the way of like I said, like, it's not like he's in like the area where it's at. No, it's like connected to him. I guess that's why he lived so long. So I don't think his wife cares either, to be honest with you. I don't normally connect these guys, but it sort of it found me. I wasn't looking for it. Let's put it that way. So that's where the human trafficking stuff came through. As I was watching it, it was pretty generic, the debate, but I was looking up Ukraine because that's one of the highest places of human trafficking. I would say Moscow is, but either way. So we're gonna go back into Martian energies. Oh yeah, that's right. Before we do that, so yeah, the Martian energy is probably one of the funniest ones I've ever connected to beings in a long time. I'm not sure it's going to be like that second time around, or third time around. It came through yesterday. We'll see. I just wanted to see what else I can get out of them. What else was there? Oh yeah. So this morning, was it 5 o'clock in the morning? Something around those lines. I felt like a presence, like demonic presence, but he was like showing me. That's not something I normally connect to. It just sort of visited me, and he showed me like hell surrounding the planet, which is pretty obvious. And obviously it's breaking down slowly. Well, I'm not sure if that's obvious, but that's what's going on. Breakdown of the lower astral. So this is, I made up a real quick diagram of what I saw. Now this is my interpretation of everything else, but he showed me basically hell surrounding the planet, which, yeah. So you have earth, hell, around the planet, astral, and then you have spirit. So obviously why it's so difficult for us to connect to spirit, because you're going through hell to get there. So I would come up with other diagrams. I think this is helpful for people in their, maybe not this one, but just to give an idea of what we're fighting against. This is why we're always blocked. And now, who runs hell? Who controls it? Assortment of beings. One of them is the Orions. There's others, of course, reptilians and all that. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to go into details. I mean, eventually I'll go into some more. I'll go further into that, but it showed me hell around the planet. So, connecting to spirit isn't exactly the easiest. And your modern human or your average human obviously is not. They might knock all this down about. It was in the Borat movie about adrenochrome, and people will say, "Oh, that's not true." But then again, the people are saying it's not true. They don't connect to their spirit guides. They don't connect to anything. They don't believe in any of this. They don't believe in probably ghosts for that matter. I mean, you don't even get the level of a ghost. You don't even get the level of any spirit beings. You're just doing what the world tells you what to think. So it's just the way it is. So, okay, we're going to a slight update, which I don't remember much of the update. I don't know where I'm at. It's SimonTalk.com. Just a quick sponsor, private sessions. We're at channel, Google Hangout, Zoom channel, my phone. Shop, I'm at, I don't know, 14th. So about a week still, same situation here. Sign up for webinar. We have a webinar for mentorship is Saturday, 2-hour webinar. Social network, Rabbit and the All School Worry. Early access, and we have the dating site here. It's still in the works, but it's operating. It's functional. It's not busy, but it's a long-term thing. It's not, just give it some time to flush things out there. So, okay. Going to let's see, Zeta energies on some of these topics, and we're going to the Martian. Martian is the main one. So, Martian is like the Anunnaki. But Martian is not known at all. But if you look at secret societies, I don't look at it that deeply, but some that talk about secret societies, they feel that Mars is involved with it. So obviously it's hard to get a full, well, that's what this is all about. Where we're going towards, a lighter vibration and more of the truth revealing itself. And I'm not saying next year is a deep download into that, but it's a road towards awakening. A lot of changes are coming. But it doesn't mean we're going to get out of the woods just yet. It's still a long ways to go. But it's promising. So, all right, lessons. This might be just a short message from Zeta. So, lessons. Greetings. We are the Zetas, Council of Nine. Blessings. Yes, you're Joe Biden. Well, you're a politician, but your Biden, yes, is a very easy controlled being, as some of you can tell. As even you see, the questions I mentioned during your debates are kind of generic, part of the control. So you look at the subject matters: climate control, your economy. These are things your elite want you to focus on. So you're kind of seeing what the elite are speaking to you. because they want to have these leverages to control society on multiple levels. They're not talking about aliens, galactic energies, spirit guides. Maybe they can all do a reading for each other. They're not doing anything like that to read each other's vibration. Well, technically they are, but it's not very kind. So they are reading each other's energies, but they actually manifest what they want to see too. So it's kind of like a false reading of each other. So, well, we're not going to go into details of that, but they give you an idea of that. So yes, you're going to more of a celestial vibration. Of course, you have not quite made it. Well, you're on your way. Yes, of course. You're always on your way. 2,000 years ago, you were on your way. And further than that, so you're always on an ascension plan. People are talking about the ascension. You've been going through ascension for thousands of years. This is not something that has showed up recently in your 2012. No. Every chapter, every year is a chapter in your world, in your lives. So the climate change, economies, a lot of that will start, the conversation will break down in your future. Now for when, it's still up in the air. Well, basically, so you can be more fluid, more free with each other, instead of more controlled and manipulated by society. Or those that created your society. And while that is Anunnaki, but a lot of other beings want to focus you. Well, climate change, they want you to focus on that very, oh, you're hurting nature and all. Not many of them connect on a spiritual level, as you can see. Not many of them talk to a tree. Some do, aren't aware of it, but they're not making it known. And they don't have, most of them, I mean, it's not part of your normal conversation, as you can see. And even politics itself will start to break down, where it no longer will exist, as many of you are bringing in, as we know. The waves of release, freedom, as much a necessity for your growth. You're actually your 12th version of Earth that you're going towards also. 12th version, well, that's kind of a cryptic message there, but it's a world that is unknown to what you are today, meaning it's a world that's completely different than what you're experiencing now, that you are building at this time. So you go into the future in your mind, you might want to go so far, but you'll feel a 12th version of Earth. That's all we can say after that. But yes, there's a Martian energy here, of course, for another download. Oh yes, the Hell energy is an Orion grid, you can say. But there's many grids, the Archon grid, but much of it, even the word Hell comes from Orion, actually. And it's been, it's basically because they make hell and other, basically you have a world, yes, and you break it open and you control society, as you can see. It's like, you know how on your world of like how you break a person from their, how they are. Well, alien beings do it to worlds. The world itself, how can you break the planet down to control it? So obviously, so some of you will get messages of how society is being controlled even more clearly, gradually, as it's time to start seeing more of how the antenna of manipulation is going across your world. It is just time for a graduation to a higher dimension idea system, a higher dimension way of looking at things, as many of you know. So, and 5G is, there's different energies with 5G. You are going into 5D, but 5G is another diversion. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, it does cause difficulties in your energy field, but you have many other things that are causing much more difficulties at this time. And things are not even mentioned because you don't know anything about them. Satellite technology is going through you all the time, putting thoughts in your minds. It does happen. Keeping humans in the third dimension, keeping a lot of your human trafficking quiet, hidden. So there's also, yes, even human trafficking, there's a vibration there that's used to keep it quiet. It's all done by toning. Toning has different, that you don't hear, some might, but most of you do not hear. Even crop circles are created by tones, just waves of energy. but it's sound vibration. So that has a lot to do with why your third dimension is the way it is, but it's something you can't hear, but some of the things you can feel. And it's key. It's like third dimension, those that are in a third dimensional state, there's just a tone that works with them. It's like a rhythm that they can't let release from. A program. But it all has a lot to do with sound. Which is very difficult for you to connect with it, because sometimes when you connect to it, it can cause difficulties sometimes. Like you don't want to lower your vibration. Let's put it that way. You know it exists, but it doesn't mean you have to tap into it. Well, you can, but you don't have to go that deep into it. Doesn't mean you're going to become a third dimensional person. You might learn more about how it operates once again. So, lessons. Greetings, you. The Martian. I am the Martian. Greetings, the Martian. Greetings, greetings once again. So, yes, yesterday was more like a business conversation. Helping others, of course, that is very satisfying. Yes, your equinox, your breakdown of third dimensional ideas. Think of like the third dimension is like a library, a bunch of old books, old knowledge. That it's like you're in somebody's basement with old or maybe the Vatican's basement. I'm not sure if you want to be there. You don't want to be there, trust us. Like old energies, old knowledge is here. And there's just massive amounts of it. That's why you're in the physical. It's just like, many of you are, it's like you look at the old ways of how to do things. It's like, yes, you connect the aliens, they go to 12th dimension, millionth dimension, whatever. But when they do that, they lose a great deal. So, of course, you have Orion beings that can open up the gateways into hell. For your, remember, old knowledge. So as you go up the dimensions, the lower realms gets filled up with old thoughts you don't need or don't want. It just keeps filling up low vibrations. Technically, it does not go away. So you experience it through a world like this, to understand it, to open up the realms of the unknown. So you're in a higher dimensional world, like a 12th dimensional world. It's like the unknown dimension, unknown reality. You just stay out of it. Some might tap into it a little bit. It's like, I'm not sure if we really need to experience that and most don't need to experience it. But some do. Somebody has to look into. Basically, it's like, we want to say it's like the junk of the universe, but it kind of is. But it's knowledge there. It's not all a waste. It's just, it feels that way at times for some. It depends on what incarnation you have. So this world has a little bit of, it's like it has old timelines, old incarnation energies. It's like you not always realize you're incarnating into old ideas that a lot of the alien beings but you're uncovering a great deal to assist more of the higher realms. So say what you want about Orion beings or anybody that's trying to open up the gateway to hell. It's on how you look at it. If you're not afraid of it, you can learn from it. If you learn from it or you're afraid of it, it usually finds you somehow. But it doesn't mean you have to experience it all the time in all your lifetimes, no. Well, you came to this world for a specific reason. Everybody has a different reason for being here. But some of you are here to heal the Twilight Zone. Face it, doesn't mean you're going to heal all the lower vibrations, but you're here to understand it. In spirit, it is true. Higher dimensional beings and lower dimensional beings do interact a lot. Now, a higher dimensional being can get pulled into a lower dimensional being. Yes, energy. and become a dark entity very easily, similar to here. But there they have a more understanding. Up here you have no idea what the hell is happening. So to give you more understanding, your spirit self and spirit can get pulled into the lower vibrations, which can also cause your human self to get pulled into the lower vibrations also. So spirit is very positive, but when you're hanging out with low vibrations, it can easily pull you down. So you're understanding your darker self was necessary. Now, those that do the suicide energy, some need to learn from a suicide. But that's not what we're here for. That's a whole nother topic, but well, because some either want to go in that direction, that's why they need to learn from someone like that. And sometimes not clear out their own darkness. Clear out one's darkness is very difficult. Yes, you can be the most positive person in the world, in the universe, but have you looked at your own darkness? And many have not. Some have their very neutral beings, but others that just say I'm positive. But then when you hear them talk, it's like, wow, that was like super negative there. Because they, in their mind, they're positive and they're talking about others and all that, thinking they're positive and truth. They're not aware of what they're dealing with within themselves. Some channelers that channel lower dimensional beings, truly come through, like they have no control of it. That means they have not healed their darker self. Should they be channeling? Well, some like to live in the wild side, but that's not necessary. So your Mother Earth was basically opened the door to the basically she wanted to. The universe has a lot of crap, basically. So she wanted to almost like create a world to see it. So yes, a positive side of the universe was capable of, but also the darker side was capable of also. Now it could have went any way. It could have just stayed positive, but obviously it cannot handle the test. So yes, Mother Earth is like a teenager that rebelled from her family, but there's more to that. But even though it's not easy on the streets. It's not easy, as many of you are seeing in your incarnations. It's not easy living outside the universe. You don't have the universe. You get help from the universe, from alien beings, but you're not like physically aware of it. It's like, oh, there's a spaceship. Oh, I just talked to a Zeta or whatever recently, like physically. So you're kind of like on your own, but you're not. But you are. You are and you're not. So it's just like running away from home. So when you run away from home, this is what happens. So but this planet ran away from home on different layers. That's why Atlantis broke down. Well, Atlantis broke down to test it more. To add as much, because other worlds have failed. Now, your other worlds in the universe have been destroyed a long time ago. This one survived, just by negativity. This world survived. Mars, as you can tell, did not go so well. But Mars kind of combined with this vibration. Mars can be rejuvenated at any time. Mars wasn't needed anymore because your world kind of took in a lot of Martian energies, and we already have enough problems here as it is. We didn't need Mars anymore. So there's different ways of looking at it. But Mars can come back. But right now, you're figuring your own selves out. Alien vibrations and your physical. Why not? Well, many of you are taking it more seriously. Of course, many meaning like a very small percent. But that is still more than it has been in the past. Some of just live the alien life. They talk about it, but experiencing is a whole different story. They're not quite ready to bring that into their environment. So it's like entertainment. Some of you are taking it very seriously. And even in your minds, your body preparing for an alien life form to actually connect to you. But also they test you to see where you're at. Not that they're putting pressures on you and all that, but they want to see who they're dealing with before they reveal themselves. Because they know all about you already. Not every detail, but enough. And so are you ready for that? Are you ready to connect to an alien being that knows more about you than you know about yourself? Is that something what you want? So that's another part of your awakening that I don't believe is discussed very often. One moment. Biden, no big deal. Who cares about him? One moment. Human trafficking, yes, is a. We don't feel like we need to go into that detail, but yes, it's keeping your third dimension the way it is. It's keeping the third dimension, yes, hidden in plain sight. Corporations that are all for human trafficking, without us going into details of what those companies are. One of them is in Orlando. They advertise it, unfortunately. Advertising to kids is exactly the most positive thing on the planet. It just can be done differently. Raising your kid can be done differently. Schools can be done differently by unschool. Yeah, it's schools are like the one of the most. You're looking for the womanati. I mean, you like looking for it. Just look up your local school. It can be a kindergarten. It can be preschool. It's all womanati control systems. Whereas it doesn't mean the people there are part of womanati, but they are working for it. So it doesn't mean you have to have Masonic energies anywhere. But yeah, you look at your local schools and see the energies around that is unhealthy. Now, if you obviously disagree with it, like maybe all schools should be removed from the planet and redone. Of course, you're not going to be the most popular person on the planet either by saying that. But just the world has to be redone, rechanged. It's for the better for all. Yeah, schools should be more open, allow the children to be more hands-on, to do more. Instead of being put them in a classroom and just like, welcome to your dungeon. Which is a perfect way of programming someone. It's almost like having a lobotomy. As some of you know, because you've been through it. Well, the school system. It is similar to it. It's like taking all the joy of life and throwing it out the window. That's what school systems do. And work does it too. It takes all the joy. So you go to school, my joy is now gone. It's somewhat there. That thank you, cocaine. But then you go to the work situation, same thing. That's why everybody's a drug addict. Not everybody, but some people are. Thank your school systems for that. Yes. If there's anyone that's a drug dealer or one that's made drugs more needed, it's your school system. We don't have to tell you that. I think you know it. But this is a healthy reminder of how your world works. So, yes, the present energies. Well, yeah, because it's a system. They're architecture of your reality being plugged into you as a child, even elementary school, even preschool. Can't blame the blank parents for everything. They have no idea anyway. But nobody knows. Well, somebody knows. So, a lot of your elites don't use those systems. Well, they know how to unprogram the program. Let's put it that way. Of course, they put in another program. Anyway, have a nice day. Blessings.